Today I will be talking about TFR, Trattamento del fine rapporto. You see it in your Busta Paga, TFR. What is TFR? Let's start. So what is it trying to say? It means it's an economical support in which a worker that has a subordinator contract. At the end of that work, the person has that money, which can be like a support, to that person after the person leaves that job. It can be a temporary contract or a life contract. So even if it's a life contract, when you finish working with that company and you want to stop that job, you can get that TFR. It means if you leave that job for dimissione, that means you left the job yourself, you can get that money back. But if it's a temporary contract, for the sake of licenciamento, you were fired, you can get that TFR that's been saved for you, irrespective of the years. Even if you've worked there for 2 months, 3 months, 5 months, 1 year, and so on and so forth, you still get that money. You see it in your Busta Paga or in your payslip. Or if you've gotten to the age of pension, when you stop that job because you are going for pension, in your last payslip, you'll be seeing that money inside. So take note of this TFR. But this TFR, can you get it in anticipation before leaving that job? Yes, you can get the money in anticipation. But let's see the purposes. Let's see the reasons in which you can get that money in anticipation. First one is a serious medical expenses. Serious medical expenses. In case you have a serious medical expenses, it might be one of the reasons. Maybe you have an operation that is going to cost you a lot of money, or you have a serious medical expenses though. The second one is if you want to buy your first house. If you want to buy your first house, you'll be needing money for expenses. Then you can request that TFR from your datore di lavoro, your employer. Or if your child or your children wants to buy their first house, you can also request that TFR for that purpose. But take note, generally, if you are working with a company and you want to anticipate your TFR, you can do that also, but only in the case that you've worked in that company for at least 8 years. It means you've worked with only that company for 8 years, then you can request for an anticipation of your TFR. You can tell them, I'm in need of this money for any motive. Then you make a request, you ask for the form, you make a request, and then it will be given to you. So if you want to request that money and you work there for 8 years, you cannot request all the money that they are saving for you. You can request at least 70% of the money they are saving for you. So that's it. If you have worked there at least 8 years and then you have a serious economic or financial problem, then you can go to your datore di lavoro and make that request, fill the form, and you'll be given the TFR. It depends how much. It might be 1,200 every year they've been saving for you. So you say 1,200 times 8 years, for example. If you work in a place 1 year, you might be having in your Busta Paga 1,200, for example, or 1,000. So it depends. You check your Busta Paga under, you see how much you've saved for your TFR. You see that. Take note that if you make that request, your datore di lavoro, your employer, is going to go and verify that you are buying your first house. The person is going to ask you for some documents to have a proof that you are buying your first house. So take note, you cannot just tell them you want the money for those purposes, but they will verify before they give you the money. Thank you very much for listening to me, and see you at the next one. Bye.